Welcome to the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Sports Hub podcast presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics and Lake Sumter State College. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. Thanks for joining us today. We have Denise Lloyd and McKenna Wilkins on with us today, and they're with Soar Athletics. I want to welcome you both to our program. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Well, for people who might not know about Soar Athletics, can you tell us a little bit about your program that you have?
Yeah, sure. We have, it's basically like Circus Act School. We offer classes like aerial silks, aerial lyra. We have trapeze classes. We have tumbling classes. So it's just another unique way for kids to have a after-school curriculum. What's it called? Activity.
Yeah, an activity after school, which
Yeah.
There's so much to do. Of course, there's sports and all sorts of stuff. And then, of course, what you guys are doing, which is really cool. How did you get into it?
So I honestly started, went to a aerial yoga class with my friend, and I liked it, but for me, I was younger, so it was like super boring. So she's like, just come try an aerial silk class. And I went and tried one class, and I fell in love with it, and I started going 4 or 5 times a week as much as I could. And probably about 2 to 3 years after taking classes, I started coaching at that studio. And that's how I got into coaching and went to a different entertainment company and started working there. And that's kind of just how it got started.
So what is the aerials and silk? For those that don't know, what areas does that entail?
Right. So the best way to explain it is if you go to Cirque du Soleil and you see the silks, the acrobats that they have, that's the aerial silks that we have. They also have aerial hoop or lyra. It's just circus acts that we have open for kids and adults.
Well, it's really cool that you offer that in the area too, because it's very unique. And we also have McKenna Wilkins on with us. And McKenna, how did you get involved with the aerials? I guess you haven't always been involved with it, but you got involved with it in recent years.
Yeah, I actually rode horses my whole life. And then somebody randomly introduced me to acro yoga. And that turned into partner acrobatics. The next thing you know, I'm performing. And then from there, it's like, well, what else can I do? Because, you know, you get into one circus art and you're like, well, I just want to try all of them. So I took a couple aerial classes here and there, but I really got into it when I started at what is now Soar Athletics. And yeah, I started doing silks, did a little bit of lyra, and then we kind of just made our own studio and became a coach. And here we are.
How did you two end up meeting?
We were at a jiu-jitsu gym renting space, and she was a student taking classes, and it kind of just, our friendship blossomed from there, and she suggested lyra classes, and I'm like, yeah, sure. If you would like to teach that, go for it. And she kind of just brought in other apparatuses. And
you grew in that gym as well. Talk a little bit about your growth as well.
Right. So we were in that jiu-jitsu gym for probably about 2 years and outgrew it. And we found a storage area right down the road that was renting spaces. And I just took a long shot. Let's just call and ask and see if they have space open. And they did. And we were able to open a studio there. So we have a 1,800 square foot studio, and we offer classes Monday through Friday. And that's just how we ended up having our own space, and slowly we're eventually going to have to get a bigger building because we're growing so much. So super blessed by that.
Well, it's really exciting too that you guys are growing so much, and I've heard lots of great things about what you have going on. As far as doing it like recreationally and then taking it to a coaching level and then a business level as well, how did that develop as well? Like how did you decide, okay, I'm going to go all in on this?
It was kind of just like a dream that I had. I never thought it was really going to happen. I was married and I had 3 kids, so starting a business wasn't really an idea of mine, but I tried it and it has taken off. So we just started with regular classes, and then we ended up putting like a performance team together. So we have a performance team of girls. We have 18 girls right now that will go out and perform at community events like First Friday in Eustis, or we can do any city events. and we go, and the girls we set up a portable rig, and they go and perform for the communities. And from there, we hold them to a higher standard, and we kind of move them over to like an apprentice and have them start helping us coach classes with another coach. And from there, if they want to become a coach and that we feel like they're ready to go, they're old enough, mature enough, then, we could go down that avenue. But right now we just have our 6 coaches all together.
Which is exciting as well. And McKenna is one of those coaches. You had an interesting way that you got into it. Of course, you did the horseback riding, and then eventually met Denise and ended up taking off. What's it been like to be a coach as far as aerials go?
It's been really cool because I honestly didn't have any teaching experience before that. I worked with horses. I just did my own thing, and then I did partner acro, so that was kind of a team thing, but in that a lot, like me and my partner kind of like we're learning and growing together, and it's a whole different thing to be the coach. You're like, I'm in charge now. I'm the one that's supposed to know all the things and be able to solve all of their problems, so that's definitely been a learning experience, and it's so cool. I love it so much.
We talk to so many coaches that come onto the program, and every time everybody talks about how they got into coaching, and everybody has a different, unique story. And I really like your story too. The fact that where you worked as well, you worked at SeaWorld in the past, also at Universal Studios. So talk a little bit about the SeaWorld experience. We were talking about that before the show, and that was a truly unique experience that you must have had.
Yeah, so the show Blue Horizons, that's no longer there. That was my dream job. They had a performing spot. It's called a cloud swing, and the girls were birds that would swing over the audience and during the show. And it was my dream job. So once I got into aerial, that was my focus, to get an audition to do that. And I did, and I made the job. And it was like my dream came true. So I was able to do that for a couple months. And then I ended up getting pregnant with my first son. So I had to back off the performing side of things for SeaWorld, but I was still working at Universal during the parade, and I did that probably until I was like 20 weeks pregnant, and then they closed the parade, so it kind of was perfect timing.
Blue Horizons, if you've never seen the Blue Horizons show, you go back on YouTube and take a look at it. Being at it in person was something else, but just to see it is a fantastic show. What inspired you really to like open your own studio? We talked a little bit about that, but what gave you that motivation, the inspiration to want to go ahead and do it?
Right. Honestly, because I started having my kids, I couldn't perform as much anymore. So I got more into the coaching side of things. And I got certified to teach aerial yoga. And I had a couple classes doing that. And I was like, okay, I want to try to do this more. So that's when we found the space to open up and just try it and see how it went. Like the jiu-jitsu gym was great about allowing me to come in and like have classes and just try to see if it worked. And it went booming and grew from there.
Aerial yoga sounds absolutely fantastic. Can you touch on that a little bit? What is aerial yoga? Because I mean, obviously I know what yoga is, but aerial yoga, I mean, I bet that's very athletic.
It is. It's more therapeutic than athletic. I mean, you can definitely get a workout from it. But it's basically yoga, and you're in a hammock. So it's like the silk material, but it's shaped like a hammock. It's good for deeper stretching. It's great for people who have issues with their knees, wrists, elbows, because when yoga, if you're doing certain poses, it's a lot of pressure on those joints. So the hammock kind of holds you up a little bit off of the floor, so it's not so hard on your joints, and you're still getting the same experience of yoga, just not having the issues that if you have any body issues.
McKenna, do you remember like when you first walked in and you just like started to see all of this stuff and now where you're at now, what was that experience like? Were you like overwhelmed with what was going on?
It's such a blur. Like, it's funny thinking. A lot of people remember, like, their first time walking in their class. And I'm like, I don't. I walked in. I was like, next thing I know, I'm, like, doing silks. It's crazy looking back. I still have all of my videos from when I first started doing silks. Yeah. And I'm just like, that's so crazy. It's almost hard to remember learning those things because once you turn around and start coaching, it's, like, such a different mindset. But I just loved it so much. And
What's it been like to see it grow too? Because just to see it take off, which has been fantastic, I feel like the sky's the limit as well.
Yeah. I think that's why it's so hard to remember that far back because and I always think I was like, oh, that was 2 years ago. And she's like, that was 5 years ago. Yeah. And like, it's been such a whirlwind. And I think we're still the only aerial studio in the area.
In the area, yes.
Yeah.
So I think it's just grown so much because people like, oh, I like this. So like as much work as we've put into it, people want it. So it just keeps growing. We're kind of just like trying to keep up and give people what they need and keep making it a better experience. Right. So I think we're really, I don't know if lucky is the word, but that's been a big part of it is people like, we have it and people want it and we want to give it to them.
Yeah.
Definitely a need for it in the area and people are gravitating toward it. What has it been like to see it grow?
Oh, it's amazing. It's awesome seeing a bunch of new people come in. I think my favorite thing is watching a child who has like anxiety or is not confident in themselves or super quiet, and they'll come into our studio. And we've had students that like wouldn't even look in my direction. And now they've completely come out of their shell and they're like learning this new unique skill, and they're able to like enjoy themselves and have something that they're really good at that's their own. And it just takes away that anxiety that they might have, and it brings more confidence to them.
McKenna, what's it like to get a new student and then have them, do this for a couple of months and then start to excel? That must feel really good.
It's really funny because we get a lot of kids and they come in, and a lot of them just come in like by themselves. They don't necessarily start with friends or anything. So they come in and they're like all shy and quiet, and then it's really fun to see them like, even now we've had kids who we've had for like a few years, and seeing them change and have like these big personalities now, and have their opinions and their own styles and the things they like. So like, yeah, it's cool to see them grow and be able to do big cool tricks and stuff, but like to watch them grow as little people.
Yes.
It's
That's
so fun.
probably one of my favorite things too, is watching, because we've had girls that probably were 7 years old that are like 14, 15 years old now. So we're literally watching them grow up. And it's fun to watch. It's like we have our own little family of kids too that we get to help raise and watch them grow.
And how cool is it too that you're a woman business owner in the area?
Yes.
That's big too. I know a lot of women are trying to get. I actually talked to one the other day who's going to be in our March edition, and she wants to be a woman business owner, and she's a student at Lake Sumter State College right now, Peyton Parks. What's your advice to women who want to become business owners?
Just go for it. Completely. Just don't let anything hold you back. Just because you're a woman, you can do anything you want. So we are all female based at our business. We have all female coaches, and we get along great. It's awesome. Just don't doubt yourself. Just go for it.
Very wise words for sure. We're going to take a short break here on the Sports Hub. When we come back, we'll have more with Soar Athletics when we return.
Is pain or restricted range of motion keeping you on the sidelines? Get back in the game with expert orthopedic care from UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics provides robotic-assisted surgical joint repairs and replacements, post-operative care, and inpatient rehabilitation services, all close to home, right here in Lake and Sumter counties. And for those unexpected injuries, UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics offers convenient walk-in and same-day appointments. To learn more or to schedule an appointment with one of their specialists, call 352-323-5665.
Hey everybody, we are back here on the Sports Hub podcast talking with Soar Athletics. We got Denise Lloyd and McKenna Wilkins on with us. Thank you both for joining us today. I wanted to talk a little bit about your specific classes that you offer with your Soar Athletics program. What can you expect when you walk in the door?
Well, it's anyone can try. You don't have to have any kind of background with anything to come and try a class. You can literally just walk in. We offer beginner classes. All of our classes have their own level. So when you initially come in, you'll start at a beginner class.
What kind of classes does Soar Athletics offer?
For beginners that come in, we offer silks classes and lyric classes, and we also have tumbling classes that are for our beginners. Anyone can come in and take a class. You don't have to have any experience. We teach you everything from the beginning basics on up. You learn everything on the floor, and then when you feel comfortable and the coach feels comfortable, you can go higher up in the air to do skills. We do offer other classes. It would be based on your level. We have leveled classes. So when you first come in, everything's beginner, and then the coach and you will like kind of have a discussion on moving up to the next level. We do offer trapeze classes, and we have some other specialty classes that you can do in more of a private lesson that we offer. So we have a bunch of toys that we can play with.
Yeah, definitely. Speaking about some of those toys, I wanted to ask McKenna, you have some classes that you teach as well. Do you have any favorite classes, or what do you teach?
I do have to say Lyra is my favorite at heart, but then we also teach trapeze, not flying trapeze like most people think of, dance trapeze. So much like our other apparatuses where it just hangs and spins, that kind of trapeze. But yeah, each coach does their own private lessons. We each usually kind of specialize in our own apparatus. So just depending on the person, I like to do a little bit of everything. So I teach Lyra and trapeze classes, and then outside of that, you could take hammock private lessons, rope, straps, loops, anything that you can think of that somebody has created and hangs from the ceiling. We'll figure it out if you want to learn it. So yeah.
What is Lyra classes? What are those comprised of?
Lyra, so if silks is the pretty flowy fabric, Lyra is the steel hoop. The steel hoop of pain, as people like to call it. Yeah. But it's totally preference, so you can be a beginner and start on silks or Lyra. Totally preference to which you like. Yeah. It's the aerial community is usually divided into fabric people and like steel people. Yeah. It's pretty funny, but
I'm definitely more a fabric person for sure.
Yeah.
I mainly teach the silk classes, so.
And then you also have some students that of course, your students at your studio. What kind of people come to your studio? Is it mostly high school students? Is it people who might be older looking for something to do? Who comes to your studio?
So it's an open range. We have classes that are called for tiny flyers. That's ages 4 to 6, and we teach them like basic coordination skills, beginner basic tumbling, and then we'll do about 10-15 minutes on the silk. Them learning basic things on how to hold themselves up. They can't do too much because they're so little, but we want to get them, acquainted with the silk. And all of our classes are multi-age, so it will go by your level. We do offer adult-only classes, so if adults don't feel comfortable around kids, we do offer that class so they can come in and have their own space and own time. And we have morning classes as well, 2 times a week, so that's another good time for adults to come in and kind of have their own time to themselves.
And your students mean a lot to you, of course. Do you have a good story about a student, or maybe just the students in general that you've been able to coach, McKenna?
Wow, I thought you were going to ask her.
Yeah, maybe we'll ask Denise. Do you have a good story maybe that you've had?
For a specific student?
Performance team.
Yeah, I would say our performance team. We've just built such a close bond with them. We've had it for 3 or 4 years now. And it's typically the same girls that are on the team. And you can tell they're really wanting it, and they have the drive to become either a performer or a coach. So we are much closer with them, like a little family, like with their little babies that we just kind of take under our wings. And they are special. Special in our hearts.
We just spend a lot of time with them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like everyone jokes that I live at the studio because I'm there all the time.
She does.
And then they're a close second because a lot of them, once they get to that point, they're taking multiple classes a week. So in each day is usually different coaches teaching. Yeah. So we see them like all week long, and then they do first Fridays.
Yes.
And we do like Christmas parties and things. Yeah. So we just spend a lot of time with them. So it's super fun.
So the bonds you develop, it's truly like a team atmosphere as well.
Because with the performance team, we'll have monthly practices. So they all come in and we get together and we practice certain things, whether we have a showcase coming up or we're practicing for an event we're going to perform at. And then also we do once a month like team building things. So next month we're going to go do candle making is going to come to the studio and we're going to make candles. And last month we had our family Christmas party. So all the students and their family members came together and we had dinner together and played games and gift exchange. So it's like a special little relationship we have with them.
Well, what's been your favorite part of building the relationships, not just with them, but just having this business in general? It must be great seeing a person go from never having done it before to be excelling.
Yeah, it is. Like I was saying before, it's amazing to watch a student that comes in that has no experience, that's super shy, that doesn't want to talk. They're kind of in their own little bubble, and to watch them become more confident in learning new skills. Even when they get discouraged if they can't do something. One of our sayings is can't is not a word. We just haven't done it yet. So we try to encourage them as much as possible and not let them get discouraged, because eventually they will get that skill. And when they do, their face just lights up like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I just did that. So it shows how much they put work into it and like achieve that goal.
And it's interesting that you come from a horseback sort of background as well, because she talks about all the work you got to put into it. Well, when horsing, of course, you got to put a ton of work in. My mother and sister are involved with dressage, so it takes a lot of fine tuning to make that happen. So the transition, you're used to hard work.
Yes. And I still, actually, my friend who I competed dressage, actually, since you mentioned that, I did that for a long time. And I'm still friends with my dressage coach, and I help her on the farm and take care of the horses for her still to this day.
That's exciting. That's awesome. How, if you're a student, if you're looking to get involved with your program, how do they get involved?
So they will go through our website, and then we're actually switching booking programs, so it's going to be a lot easier than what we have right now. So everything will be right there on our website. You'll be able to see our schedule, pricing. When a new student comes in, we have a new student trial price, buy one, get one free class. It usually expires in a week, so we try to keep you coming in within that week to try either the same class, the same silk class, or if you want to do a tumbling class and a silk class, or lyra and silk, you have the option to do that. You don't have to stick to one certain thing. So.
As far as role models go, do you have some role models that have impacted you in your life?
Probably my best friend out in California, the one that got me started with all of this. She was there with me from day one, and she helped me get my job at SeaWorld. She was someone that I really looked up to. And honestly, like, I'm jealous of McKenna. Like, I love being able to watch. She has grown so much from the student that she was, and like the drive that she has to bring in new things and have all these new ideas that we can do on the weekends and like help build us. Like, that's really helpful. So like, I really look up to her when it comes to like helping grow the studio and just watching her grow.
What's an idea that you've brought that you're kind of proud that you brought it to the studio?
So many.
So many.
Well, honestly, something that we're about to start doing, which I'm so happy about, is that, when you're small, you kind of we just offer like classes. Everybody comes in and takes like an all-level class. And we're finally at the point where we have enough kids that have been with us long enough that we have, more advanced students. So we are now dividing all of our classes by level. We had a few like advanced classes here and there, but now all of our classes are going to be divided by levels. So when you come in and you're a beginner, you don't have to walk into the class and get intimidated by somebody who's doing just something absolutely crazy on the other side of the room. Yeah. You have to come in, meet people that are also like at your same level, and you kind of like, now that have people to grow with, because some people do get really intimidated when they first walk in, and we're like, relax. Yeah. They've been doing this for 4 years. This is your first class. So that's something that I'm really excited for that we're going to be doing.
Yeah, that's exciting. And that's what I was going to ask next is what makes Soar Athletics different from all of the other programs around? Because this is really, you're kind of the only program in the immediate area. But as far as other programs, what makes you all kind of unique?
Aside from us being the only one in the area, the fact that we offer so many different unique things that you don't see. You have your typical like gymnastics and dance. We just have something completely different that kids can try and adults can try to kind of let them experience something else and learn.
Well, even within like aerial, A lot of studios teach silks and lyra. That's pretty much the standard. Those are two things that you should start with because I kind of feel like everything else builds off of that.
Yes.
But even a lot of studios don't teach like trapeze like we do. We call it dance trapeze or solo trapeze. So even once it gets into like those other little more niche apparatuses, like we want to do it all. We want to bring it all. And like not all studios do that. A lot of them are mostly just silks and lyra because those are the two biggest ones.
Yeah, seems like a very down to earth studio, which is a huge help to.
Yeah,
to
we're
these
very family friendly. Like you can stay and watch classes. You know, if you have siblings, they can sit and watch too. I actually have like a shelf of like coloring books and toys and stuff. So if siblings get bored, they can go and color or put a puzzle together or something. We're very family friendly.
Absolutely.
And that's the cool thing. Besides just our kids, we love them. They're the best. But like now we're at a point where we've had families that have been with us so long.
Yes.
Seeing like the parents get really invested in what we're doing too is so nice.
Yeah.
Because then they have like ideas about things. They just want to like throw it out there and we're like, hear it, tell us. Because we're at that point where we have that relationship where we're like, we want to hear what you think. We want to hear like what you want next. So
Yeah,
that's
we're
really
very
cool.
open to different ideas from anybody. So anything that will help us grow and just, you know, stay connected and have stuff like that. It's just awesome.
What's one of the most fun ideas that anyone's ever pitched to you to do in the studio? Do you have a fun idea that maybe
The kids' idea of fun is different from our idea.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll come up with anything. I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good time to me. But we I haven't done one in a while. Every once in a while we do
kids'
things
night.
like kids' night.
Yeah.
We just come up with like random ideas. Sometimes we get together for like 3 hours and maybe they get some open gym time to do aerial. And then we just like play a lot of games. We eat pizza. Or for our more like intermediate advanced aerialists, we just started doing the aerial mixer, which is where I put up like basically every apparatus I own. And, you know, our more advanced kids can come in and we can just kind of go around the room and just to try out things.
Yeah.
Because once you're in the aerial space, it's like you've been doing silks for like 4 years now and you just want to mix it up and try something different. So that's an opportunity for us to just get together and just kind of have fun and try new stuff. Yeah. So we're always trying to do like different things like that just to like mix it up.
Yeah.
Keep it fresh.
Yeah.
What's as far as a piece of advice that somebody might have ever given to you? Has anybody ever given you a piece of advice that you really like? That you were like, wow, that's good advice. What's the best piece of advice anybody's ever given to you?
Comparison is the thief of joy. Because a lot of people will come in and the second they see someone doing something that like maybe they haven't done yet, they haven't quite nailed it down, it's easy to get frustrated. But you have to remember, everybody's very different. Like, most of the other coaches are far more flexible than me, but I'm usually, like, on the stronger side. Yeah. So you have to know that, like, it's hard in the beginning because everything's a struggle. Everything, you know, obviously we try to make it, like, easy going forward, but you have to be prepared for the challenge. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that like your style and what you're good at is going to be different from somebody else. And that's easier when you're like more advanced because you're like, I have my own style. These are the things I like to do. But you have to know that from the beginning that your style and what you're good at is going to be a little different for everybody.
Yeah.
So Denise, what does membership look like at your program?
So we give you a couple options. You can do like a drop-in and just come in and try a class whenever you'd like. We do have like a membership you can do. You can pick either once, twice, or 3 times a week, and then you would pick like the membership, which one you would want to do. Most people will do the membership, but if you just want to drop in here and there whenever you want to, then that's an option too.
Lastly, what's your best pitch to anybody who's never tried any of this before? What's your best advice for them to come on in and give it a go?
Just come and try a class. That's why our new student trial price is like so ideal, because you can come in and try multiple classes to see what you like. We really encourage that anybody can try it. You don't have to have, like, main people will say, I don't have any upper body strength. Neither did I when I first started. I grew up dancing, so I have the leg strength, but my upper body was not there at all. So we teach you the basics and get you to where you need to be, and you go at your own pace. So you don't have to be worrying about trying to be at a certain level. It's just fun, unique thing for you to learn.
And I want to thank both of you for coming on to our program today, letting us know a little bit more about Soar Athletics and what y'all have to offer. So best of luck to you with your program. And one final time, how can they get involved, and what's your website?
So our website is soarathleticfl.com. Right now we have our old scheduling system. You can still book, though. You would hit the sign up link and it will redirect you to the booking site, and you make an account, and that's where you can see our schedule and pricing. But like I said, starting mid-January, we'll be switching over to the other program. So when you go to our website, everything will be right there for you to see. You would be able to just click and book the class and see that trial price for you to choose and try it.
Well, McKenna and Denise, thank you so much for coming on to the Sports Hub today. Very much appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
That's going to do it for today's edition. I want to thank our partners that make it all happen, Lake Sumter State College and UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics. I'm your host, Kyle Coppola. I'll see you on the next edition of the Sports Hub.
This has been the Style Sports Hub, presented by UF Health Medical Group Orthopaedics.